Hello, it's dollar bill, yo. Uh, I've been getting killed on the market. From what I'm trading, I'm down, I think, about 20%. As far as the markets, I'm not even going to talk about it because nothing I've done has been right. I've literally been stepping off of trades that were good and stepping onto trades that are bad. Fortunately, some of the advice that I've given people recently wasn't what I did, but it did work for them if they did it. I haven't spoken to them. I've noticed YouTube is already started to delete some of my videos, specifically anything to do with politics. And I don't save my videos because I don't have enough space on my phone. So I may not be making any videos until I get my laptop hooked up to Wi-Fi, where I can save my own stuff. And they take it down, I'll just put it back up. It's kind of ridiculous because these videos don't get any views. Like why they're taking this stuff down. It's like next to meaningless. But it tells you the type of speaks of the type of editing that goes on YouTube. Things that can be said can't be said. So I'm going to talk about. I'm going to tell you who your next president is again, because they took it down, and I didn't save the video. Kamala Harris is your next president, and Gavin Newsom is her VP. She likes, her little lily white pets. She took one home. She put one in the White House. She's gonna kick his ass out and bring a new one in. And you Trumpers, I tell you, you like I'm this guy. He's going through what he's going through. He's not speaking enough for me, for people who've gone through the same thing to support this guy. But he sounds like a guy who's in trouble, and now he sort of has his head on straight a bit. They will successfully prosecute him. My experience in the justice system is when they want to win a case, they win a case. And they'll win that case by any means deemed necessary, and they will win. I will say all of these cases, every last one. It's kind of funny that he's worried about a past rigged election, and but you'll see what the problem is with Trumpers. He's running for the same office in the same system in the same country. So if the last one was rigged, what, are you in better standing now? Like this one isn't going to be rigged? They're the same guys who are getting screwed by the system, but they still believe in it because that's what they are. That's what they're deeply indoctrinated to be. And honestly, I don't think anything will be resolved in this country until there's an unprecedented level of violence. What that all entails, I don't know. But that's just my personal feeling. I definitely don't advocate for it. If you watch this video, I suggest you do with me as I do. I stock my cabinet full of popcorn and I have Wi-Fi. I'll sit at home and watch it. If that's what you want to do, you want to actually go out and do, like, why go out? Don't go out and do anything. Like, someone else will do it for you. It's like there's always some other fool who'll do your dirt here. And yes, they took down uh, the video on what China and Russia are going to make of Ukraine. I almost, It scares me to think that like Putin would actually do that, like step his toe into Poland, because I don't know from his perspective, but it will be ended shortly. Xi Jinping will stand and he'll end what you're all saying is World War III. And a lot of things, the BRICS nations, the dollar, looks like you're done. I think maybe your one hope is China's having their own serious economic problems. Kind of amazes me you have Iran and Saudi Arabia officially were two of the countries that joined the um, BRICS nations. They are devout adversaries, and if you speak to anyone who lives in the Middle East, they'll tell you Iran is the problem. But the fact that they are now working together, well, I think we'll actually have peace in the Middle East. Uh, they may even create the Middle Eastern Union. I suggested that they do because it's the only way to keep everybody else out of their business. They can resolve it amongst themselves. Um, I'm not sure what percentage. I think it's I hear different things about this to get news on this petrodollar and the new petro yuan is. I'm not even sure it's yuan. They say they're going to trade in their own currency, but the point is, there's $7 trillion U.S. dollars out there for this trade, and it should be coming back here. Now, the dollar seems to be drying up, and the value of the dollar actually seems to be going up. Um, there's a lot of debt out there internationally in dollars. I won't even comment on all of that. Those are just the facts because I don't completely understand it. But I think the dollar will be dethroned. Um, I know Kamala is your next president. Like, you have no other choice. Um, will there be an unprecedented level of violence where things are finally resolved here? I don't think so. But Trumpers talk about a revolution. It's like revolution. That's a war against the establishment. That's the war against the government. That's a war against your country. But you're also uh, the biggest self-proclaimed patriots in America. You're like the dog chasing its tail in the living room. You're not that dangerous. I'm a little concerned as to what it will be when Trump is sitting in prison. They'll put him in prison because it's the only way to cancel him, thoroughly just cancel him. They will own his mouth. And yes, he will shut it. um, and it's kind of disturbing because I don't think anyone will ever seriously question an election. I'm not even sure a citizen would, but definitely a politician. No, they won't ever do that again. Um, as far as the economy, I can see things. They should break here in the next 12 months. Student loans start again next month. The cars are being repoed like mad, and the car loans are really, really bad. There's over $1 trillion worth of car loans in America. 100 million Americans have a car loan, and car loans are kind of like the first part of credit that collapses because you miss two payments, they're going to have a tow truck in your driveway and they're taking your car. Next is the credit cards. They're about, after about 6 months of no payments, they're delinquent. They'll cancel your cards, and it's now bad debt. And then will be the houses. And the houses, I don't think will even get hit as long as employment stays relatively low, because people, most people have refinanced and they have a very low rate, and they're going to hold on to their house for dear life. So I will continue to I probably will be continue to short the market both TMF, SQQ, I may short SOX too, SOXS, which is the chips. Um, and I also found a way to short the Chinese market, the Yang. It's YA. I think it's the ticker symbol is YANG. Um, Historically, they break something when they have inflation, raise rates. When it will happen, I'm not sure. But the people's savings from the pandemic is gone. We're back to levels of savings pre-pandemic. Also, I look at that. There was no time in America where the wealth exchanged hands from the wealthy to the poor, or excuse me, from the poor to the wealthy, than it has in the last 3 or 4 years. So when you talk about savings, okay, well, who has the savings? The wealthy people have the savings. So that number that Americans savings, the poor have already tapped out. The middle class have tapped out. The upper middle class are now concerned about their savings and their debt. We have deflation in China, so I think you could see a boost in consumer spending. I think prices will come down for a period of time. They make everything still, but I think houses they're still a ways out. Builders are building, and they're making money because there just are no homes. People are holding on to their homes because they have this low rate. They want to sell their house and then go refinance the new house at 7%. So they're keeping them. And if they have a second or third home, I guess Airbnbs, people who bought property specifically for Airbnb, those are starting to get hit. But next, I see the credit cards. It'll be interesting to see if how many people actually start paying their student loans. I'm, I think some people will just say, "Well, I'm not going to pay. You said I wasn't going to have to." I think it was a bad example, like to pay the first financial contract offer. It's just a subsidy for the wealthy, we'll call them the future wealthy. So anyway, that's the deal. I'm not going to be making a lot of videos until I took up this Wi-Fi, and I'm lazy as hell. So I kind of wanted to comment about that guy with the song. You know what? It's a song. Doesn't mean that much, pal. Nice. I like it. Which I guess that's all a song's supposed to be. I think the maker of the song wants it to be something more. Um, he's a little. He's got it right when he says your dollar ain't shit, because that's the bait. Maybe I should just go into this. I'm going to give you a little history of your nation from my own perspective. If you pull a dollar out of your pocket, you look at the guy whose picture's on it. Now your picture, you're starting a new nation. You're interviewing people to set up the system, create the system that is going to be this nation. So I want you to look at his resume. I've looked into this probably a little deeper than most people have, but George Washington was probably the biggest plantation owner in the world at the time. Literally owned half this country. But the plantation the purpose of the plantation was not so much profit. The market decided what the profit was on the crop, but the plantation was about production. So imagine you're out there in rural America, no modern communication, no modern transportation, no modern weaponry. And actually, yeah, the American police grew out of slavery. But you're out there with your wife and your kids on 1,000 acres with a couple hundred slaves, and you've got to get them to work. Uh, so that's what the majority of our founders did their whole lives, born and raised, and that had been done for generations. So these people became very skilled at getting people to produce. I mean, what do we value more than the rich man? What do we admire more than the rich man in America? Well, hard work. Hard work. And the N word, the definition of the N word is what? Lazy. See how brilliant they actually were? They were lazy. The master wanted them to produce. Now, when he says your dollar ain't shit, well, okay, yeah. You took the bait and you spit it out of your mouth. We all say the country is about what? Money. That's what we're led to believe. It's not. It's about production. The system wants you to produce. Your reward is the paper with ink on it. Keeps you running around. You know, he spoke about people who died for this country. And yeah, you know, there are people that died for this country, but it's kind of, I guess, where I don't know. But those people, listen, I've sat and ate for months with what are purported ISIS terrorists, self-purported fundraisers, terrorists. And listen, I'm alive and well. So, did anyone go over there and fight for my freedom or my life? They didn't fight for my life. It had nothing to do with me or my life. It had to do with corporate America. It had to do with the money system, the rich man in Richmond that he sings about. He doesn't quite get the connection. He's a little like Trumpian. I'll just say like disconnected is Trumpian. In that that's what they fought for. They didn't fight for your life. Not if I can sit there with my foul mouth and eat with a bunch of terrorists. No, I'm not a Muslim. I'm not an Arab, or I'm not an ISIS member. I'm an American. They, they said they cut Americans' heads off. That they said, but what did they do? Still attached. So, yeah, this guy, I don't know. I think he's, a good guy. And if you listen to his song, you know what America does with the good. They step on it. I don't know what he'll end up being. He's interesting. He could be like the greatest, biggest cult following musician of the next 20 years, or you could get stepped on. Try not to step on him. Just he should sing a song, I guess, maybe let the song be what it is. But I don't know. I think he made the song for himself. He didn't really make the song for everybody else. So when someone does something else with it disturbs him. But interesting guy. He's sort of holding true to his lyrics. He supposedly turned down an $8 million record deal, and he spoke about how dirty the music business is. Um, I find it fascinating that, well, he's achieved the level of success he has with absolutely nothing. That's very admirable. Um, but it also kind of, I don't know, maybe it deletes the message of his song. Um, I don't know how much financial success he's had, but if you want to cash in on 42 million views on YouTube, well, you could do it. Anyway, um, so yeah, Donald Trump's going to be in prison. That's the way they're going to keep him out of this election. Ramaswamy is the Republican nominee. There's no way he could beat Biden or Kamala Harris. Biden's not even going to be there. He'll be gone. I think a prosecution of Biden will sort of keep everybody in check. Um, and there's no way the Democrats can step over a black female for Gavin Newsom, of all people. God. So, and I won't be making any more videos about any of this stuff because YouTube deletes it. I don't know, maybe I should be flattered. I'm not. Because I didn't have the space to save the stuff on my phone. It's the only reason I'm making it. And Putin will step into Poland. We'll all say, oh, it's World War III, and Xi Jinping will tell Putin to go back to Moscow. And he'll be the hero, and you already start to see Europe align themselves with China, but you'll see that alliance solidified. Your big problem is in this country is you've lost your credibility, your reputation, your admiration of the world. Um, and well, prosecuting Donald Trump really doesn't do that. What I think is going to get America is its arrogance, much like it got like every other empire. I think the last one it got was the British. They're still very arrogant, the British. Um, but yeah, the world agrees with you, Oliver. The dollar ain't shit. They're taking it out. They're not all trading cracker cash anymore. Take it easy.